lot of my friends know me and call me NENA. I'm a writer of all sorts, blogging, poetry, bios, songwriting, yeah. First of all, I'm Peruvian. I was born in Peru, and then I came here when I was a baby. And I was raised by a whole bunch of single women, my grandmother, my aunt, and my mom, and I look up to them and their strength. And really just like, women are just so dope. Like lately I've just been so into like the power and the strength of women. So those are the people that I've been looking up to lately. I came here when I was 1 with my grandmother to stay with my uncle who already lived here. But the rest of my family stayed back in Peru. Then I went back to Peru when I was 3, and then I came back to United States when I was 7, and we left because of terrorism in Peru. My dad was, he was pretty well known in the government. He was actually good friends with Che. So in med school, they were really good friends. And my dad he kind of had a target on his back for the terrorists. So we decided to leave the country and come here. Not really knowing where my home was between Peru and the United States. I didn't really have like a crew of friends that I grew up with or anything like that. So I didn't really feel like I related to anybody. So I just wrote in a journal on a daily basis, and then that just ended up being my passion and my career. And I just feel like I've always been a writer. I started writing when I was a kid, probably once I came here to stay here, probably when I was about 5 years old. I didn't really have anybody that I could connect with because I was half this like Peruvian curly-haired girl that didn't really belong here, and then half this wanted to be American girl that didn't know how to belong. So the only thing I really trusted in was just my diary and my journal. So I would just write every day, and it just turned into my career, thankfully. Who I admire the most changes on a daily basis, but probably my family, my grandmother, her kids, my mother, my aunt and my uncle. They were brought up in poverty, like third world poverty, and I just really admire that like they became something. They followed their heart and they took risks and they worked hard, and they just became people who are successful and who are happy and who are healthy. So I would just say like really my grandmother and my uncle, my mother and my aunt. No, the people that influence my work are, well, I have a lot actually. I don't have like 1 or 2, but probably like Tupac was probably my first inspiration. Kendrick Lamar, Chance the Rapper, Andre 3000, Lauryn Hill, Eminem, T.S. Eliot, E. Cummings, Charles Bukowski. I'm just influenced by everything. And that's the thing. I think that people think that just because you're in this realm, you have to be influenced by just these type of people, but you can be influenced by literally anybody and anything. And what I found to be really inspirational for me is just everyday people really hustling and following the heart. It's like the type of people that like quit their 9 to 5 to like become a writer or become like a singer or become like a director. Like that's dope to me. So yeah, my creative process is a little different every time because it depends on what I'm writing about. But if it's poetry or if it's songwriting, a lot of it really comes from pain. So I think that my first step is really sitting with myself and identifying what this heaviness is that I'm feeling and why I'm feeling it, and then really letting my imagination kind of take over my emotions, and then I just start writing. I used to write for the audience, and then I realized that that wasn't really true to myself. I would reread what I wrote, and I realized that I was just disconnected from what I wrote, and now I just feel, I write, I read, and then I just edit whatever I wrote. So I always feel pain when I'm writing, and I don't know, it's healthy pain because it's you seeing yourself grow. It's like you watching yourself grow your wings. And there's always like a disconnect from whatever it is you're writing about. There's a connection, but there's also an understanding that you're letting it go, whatever it is you're writing about, whether it's a breakup or even like a success story. It's like, it's bittersweet. But I think at the root of like all my writings, there's just some sort of like pain that makes me seek medicine, which is my writing. It's funny because I went through a really ugly breakup. Like I was saying, like I used to write for the audience, and I went through this really ugly breakup. I was with this guy for like 8 years, and it was just a really ugly breakup, and I was in a very, very, very angry place. So I started writing about that anger, and I realized that I recognized myself more in that anger than I did in wanting to be like sweet or gentle about my writing. I think one of the things about me is that like I'm very uh, vulgar in a lot of my writings, and I'm raw, and I'm not like ladylike, I guess. And yeah, it came from anger, and it came from understanding that it's okay to be angry, and it's okay as a woman and as a Latina, it's okay to like express that anger. There's no criteria that you need to follow to express that anger. If you want to cuss, cuss. If you want to like, I don't know, man, like if you want to be vulgar about it, be vulgar about it. Like yeah, be human about it, I guess. Growing up, I lived in a very specific environment. My parents were doctors. When my mom came to this country, after struggle, she became a nurse, and my family has always been very particular with how they want us to live our lives. So lawyers, doctors, something of that nature. And whenever I wanted to kind of explore outside of that, they would kind of reject the idea. So I didn't really have the comfort zone to really explore my artistic abilities. But what that did was that pushed me to be by myself a lot. And that allowed me to kind of discover my passions in my heart. It wasn't until like adulthood that I realized like, okay, I need to get out of the zone to really explore this artistic ability and really like go for it. So currently my friend and I are working on getting a collection of tragic stories together. What we want to do is we want to reach out to a variety of different people across the country, or you guys can reach out to us and let us know about something that you went through, something traumatic that you went through that you survived. We want it to be very raw and very honest, and we want it to be written by you. And if you need help writing it, like we can definitely guide you through that. We can edit it for you. But the ultimate goal is we want to get these stories together and put a book together and then publish it. So it's going to be called Stories of the Wicked. And it's basically to show that we all go through really, really ugly things, and we can still survive it, and we can still be beautiful, even if we went through something ugly. So if you guys want to check out my work or just follow me and see what's up with me, you can follow me on Instagram.